It all began with a phone call, one of those calls that you never really get used to, no matter how many times you hear them. Someone had found a dog, badly injured, hiding behind a row of abandoned houses on the edge of town. The voice on the other end trembled. "He's bleeding. I think someone hit him. Please come quickly." When our rescue team arrived, the night was quiet, the air heavy with the scent of dust and rain. And there he was, a husky, barely 2 years old, lying motionless on the cold ground. His fur, once silver and white, was now matted with dirt and dried blood. One of his back legs was bent at an unnatural angle. His ribs showed through his thin coat, and in his eyes, there was no anger, no fear, just exhaustion. Who could do something like this? Someone whispered. A neighbor came forward hesitantly. It was my cousin, he admitted softly. He has some mental problems. I didn't stop him in time. No one spoke. The silence was heavier than any word could be. We gently lifted the dog onto a blanket, careful not to touch the broken limb. When I reached out, he didn't flinch or growl. He just looked up at me, as if asking quietly whether it was finally over. We named him Milo. Somehow, that name felt right. Short, warm, a new beginning. The next few days were filled with worry and hope. Milo underwent surgery to repair the fracture. The vet explained that it would take months of rest. No running, no jumping, only patience. For a husky, that was almost impossible. They were born to move, to run with the wind. But Milo's spirit, though wounded, was still bright. At first, we kept him in a recovery cage. He didn't like it, of course. Every time I passed by, he'd stand up, tail wagging, eyes pleading for just a few minutes of freedom, and sometimes, I gave in. I'd open the door and let him stretch his legs, just for a moment. He'd limp a little, then stop to rest, looking at me as if to say, "See, I'm fine, don't worry." But the healing process was far from simple. One morning, when I came in to feed him, I found him trying to climb the gate of the cage, eager, restless, unable to resist his playful nature. He had no idea how fragile his leg still was. From that day on, we had to keep a closer watch. We even bought a larger, safer enclosure, big enough for him to move, but not to jump. After a month of recovery, we took Milo back to the clinic for a full checkup. The staff there knew him well by now. He was the kind of dog everyone remembered. "Hey, look who's here." The vet smiled. "Our happy boy." Milo wagged his tail so hard his whole body wobbled. He was thrilled to be out again, sniffing round every corner of the hospital, his tongue lolling in excitement. He didn't act like a patient. He acted like a tourist on vacation. When it came time for the X-ray, he got nervous, pulling back toward me, unsure of the machines and the bright lights. I crouched down beside him and whispered, "It's okay, buddy. You're safe. Just one more check, and then we'll go home." The X-ray results came out better than we could have hoped. The bone had fused well, the structure was strong, and there were no signs of infection or misalignment. The vet nodded approvingly. "He's healing beautifully." The cage rest really worked. Hearing those words felt like the weight of a mountain had been lifted off my shoulders. I reached down, scratching behind his ear, and Milo leaned into my hand, closing his eyes in contentment. Still, we weren't done yet. "He needs at least 3 more months of controlled rest," the vet said. "No running, no stairs, and no rough play." So we brought him back home, to the little rescue center he now called his world. There were other dogs there, some timid, some boisterous, but Milo, with his big heart and bigger ears, quickly became their leader. He played gently with the smaller ones, nudging them toward their bowls, sharing toys instead of stealing them. And yet, sometimes, when I looked at him lying quietly in the sun, I wondered if he remembered the man who had hurt him. Would there still be fear in his heart, or had time and kindness washed it away? Dogs are remarkable that way. They don't dwell on the past the way we do. Milo never held grudges, never showed anger. The first time we met, he had bowed his head, pressing it against my palm in quiet surrender. Now, when I came near, he would roll over, belly exposed, tail wagging his way of saying, "I trust you." Weeks turned into months. Milo grew stronger, steadier, happier. His gait was smooth again. His eyes sparkled with mischief. The limp was barely noticeable. Now, he'd bark excitedly whenever I entered the yard. And if I didn't greet him right away, he'd paw at the cage, demanding attention like a spoiled child. Finally, the day came when the vet declared him fully recovered. "He's ready," she said, smiling. Strong bones, strong heart. That night, when I opened the cage door, Milo didn't rush out. He stood there for a moment, looking at me, his eyes calm, almost wise. Then, slowly, he stepped forward and pressed his head against my leg, a silent thank you that said more than words ever could. Now, Milo lives freely in the shelter garden, running with his new friends, chasing sunlight, barking at butterflies. Sometimes he gets tired and lies down beside me, sighing contentedly, as if to remind me that love, no matter how small, has the power to heal even the deepest wounds. I often think about how far he's come from that broken, beaten husky we found in the dirt, to the joyful, trusting soul he is today. Milo taught me something I'll never forget. Even when life shatters your body, if your heart finds kindness, you can learn to stand again.